Welcome to It's a Serenus Life podcast. Lessons Learned, Inner Child Wounds, Part 2. In order for me to find peace in my body, I needed to find that piece of the puzzle. I was working through everything else, so I thought. I was dealing with so much anxiety and trauma that was stuck in my body. Tension held in places where I could never relax. The missing piece that was stuck in my body was the sexual abuse I received as a child. That messed up my emotional regulation from day one. Because we were not taught about those low vibrational feelings like anger and sadness or loss. What was I supposed to feel after something like that happens? Happiness? Excitement? Trust? I felt my body say something wasn't right as a young child. I told an adult, and the adult dismissed it. I don't know what more I could have done. I will say it's making me look at parenting and marriage in a completely different perspective. Someone once said to me, "I thought you had a good life." And yes, from what I remember, or from what I was supposed to remember, because obviously I was great at shoving down my true feelings to make others feel more comfortable. Yes, I had the life you were to feel blessed in. I had a roof over my head, food to eat. I felt blessed. But for as blessed as I was to feel, my emotional regulation was never in the correct spots. For those who don't know what emotional regulation is, here's a sample from Google. Emotional regulation refers to the processes individuals use to manage and respond to their emotional experiences in appropriate and adaptive ways. Can you see now why I've been diving into the hard stuff of my life? Because I don't want to feel like this anymore. It's debilitating. My body and mind, they needed rest. I listened to the respected elders around me for the most part. I did what you wanted me to do. I sang how you wanted me to sing. I talked to those who you wanted me to talk to. I comforted whom I needed to comfort. I handled what you could not. I trusted you though, and I obliged to your wishes. But deep down, I still knew something was off, with no idea how to handle these big emotions and big feelings that accumulated year after year. I didn't take care of the pain that was inside me. And did anyone ever think that just pushing me to grow up fast led me to longing for a childhood that was taken away from me from abuse? I feel I wasn't taken seriously. My feelings were pushed to the side, and it made the development of my emotions messed. I was misfiring in all directions. The reason I'm talking about this is because for me, talking in general or singing or writing is therapeutic. And I know deep down that it's not just me that goes through stuff like this. I, Sarah, want to help every person I can before I'm called to my forever home. All the bad habits, words spoken in past generations, things that our parents couldn't tend to in their childhood passes right down to the next generation. And if we want our world to be more gracious to one another, then we need to get to the root of why people behave the way that they do. And in my opinion, it starts in childhood. And I have that in big, bold letters. What happens in our childhood development, our home environments, molds our emotions and feelings, and before you know it, masks are applied. Masks of many versions that hide our truths, like childhood abuse, drugs, alcohol, anger, lying, cheating, etc. Those masks make you one way in front of people and another when you're alone. It causes you to grow up being more sad, angry, depressed later in life. But why? It's because we are trying to numb or hide those feelings that we don't know how to get out of our body. We do not know how to express or explain what is happening properly. It becomes a generational thing passed down generation after generation. Who will become the generational breaker? Well, in my family and in my life, it's going to be me. And I was ready and willing to do the work. Now, I unknowingly had crap in my body and mind that I needed out. I always felt like someone was reminding me of all my insecurities, especially that I'm not good enough year after year in everything I did. It was holding me back from the future I dreamt of for myself. It was stealing my joy, my happiness, and I'm not going to lie, it's an extremely hard thing to go through. As I got older, though, I noticed around freshman year of college, the more people that I met, the more I started to become a people pleaser. I started looking for people I could help out or fix, especially in my intimate relationships. Feeling like I grew up in a very controlled environment where you didn't talk about a lot of these low vibrational emotions. Remember, back then, children were seen, not heard. I learned to bottle things up so I didn't cause any discomfort to others. I tried to make others happy or to be seen. And I think a lot of that had to do with I never wanted anyone else to feel the way I felt. So I learned to overgive, overextend, exhausting my own Energizer battery to everyone else and never saved enough for myself. I don't think I knew how to take care of myself or to even stand up for myself, but I knew I was great at taking care of others. Who would have thought adults with backpacks of inner child wounds on their backs, and mine was full to the brim. I was doing counseling for anxiety and trying to deal with all the inner child wounds, and it was a lot of work. And it's hard, but I knew something was holding me back from my true happiness. I don't want that backpack of crud to weigh me down any more than it already has. I wanted it out. The emotional, the mental, the sexual. Pretty sure that would screw up anyone, any marriage, and pretty much the kids, because I knew it was affecting me. And I had no idea that an inner pain from childhood would stunt my growth in emotional regulation. But I was determined to fight this inner demon inside me that was collecting data, storing my trauma and anxiety throughout my body. It was giving me headaches, digestive issues, tons of anxiety and stress. I was going to do everything I could to work through this. And it is really no one else's responsibility to do the work you need to do on yourself. It's your backpack that needs to be opened, filed, maybe removed, replaced. Another thing that I wanted to point out was I feel that all this disassociation of feelings and emotion affected me in love. I wasn't able to truly understand love and how it was supposed to feel inside my body. Because in my experience, love came with conditions. And if those conditions weren't met, I didn't feel loved. Sad, right? But when mentors ignore a child's fear or not talking about how that fear or feeling is affecting the child's body and brain development, unhealthy emotional regulation patterns begin. I longed for words of affirmation. I always wished for some sort of attention. According to the Center of Child Development, found online again, children between the ages of 3 and 7, the brains are like sponges for beliefs about themselves and their abilities. This makes it a prime time for affirmations to help shape how they see themselves. When these statements align with what we're going through, they can strengthen brain pathways tied to confidence and resilience. Look, I know that I have a way to go. Do you know that it was just really 7 months ago from all the counseling that the sexual abuse part came to the forefront? I learned that if you didn't handle it when you were a child, surprisingly enough, and I can't remember if it's just in women, but it does come out around the 40s. And, well, I'm 46. But this was on me to change the bad habits and my unhealthy patterns. I had to do a lot of this in silence to help me reflect, and I only let a select few to be with me through it all. Now I'm learning to look in the mirror and repeat to myself, Sarah, you are loved, and this wasn't your fault. And you do have a truth, and it is correct that this is how you feel, and what happened to you was wrong. I knew my body was telling me it was not right and it was not okay, and it messed me up. Look, it doesn't matter what abuse you receive. It will mess with your brain as you grow. And I'm sure that my frontal cortex development was slightly behind the rest of the kids my age. As I continue to grow in age, like I said, I would say that I was like a fine wine, getting better looking with age, but I don't know, I just don't question things now. I step back, I listen to my body, I reflect on my responses and how they're making me feel. I finally have the confidence to tell people no, or I'm done. I don't have to stay in this environment. If I don't feel safe to release my true, authentic emotions and feelings, if I don't feel a deep emotional connection with you, then maybe we're not supposed to be in each other's company. I'm standing up for me now and realizing this is what I need. I need good communication. I need truth and honesty, and I need to feel safe and know that I am loved for who I am with all my scars and all. There is the phrase, how can you love someone if you don't love yourself first? And that is true. That's why I started looking at myself in the mirror and just, making a list of myself of all my good qualities, complimenting myself on them, and I reflected on the not so good. I told myself again that I loved myself, and I went through a lot of things, and a lot of the bad things were not my fault, and I'm not a bad person. I did know that I felt like I was always running a marathon, and I would just be waking up for the day. I always seemed to feel drained, and I realized that I was working overtime trying to always place proper feelings with my body's responses. I was just trying to be a good example for my children. Now, as I watch my daughter grow, I ask myself, okay, what did I not receive as a child, and what does she need as she grows? Whatever I was missing from my childhood, I know I needed to reparent myself. I have the ability to keep myself safe, and no one can tell me how I'm supposed to feel ever again. God has been there for me the whole entire way. And interestingly, He guided me to spirituality, to learn about myself in a more intimate way. Growing up in the church, the more I found out about myself, the more embarrassed I felt talking about it at church. And I'm pretty sure that that's not how things are supposed to be or feel. I always wondered if people were leaving the church because they were feeling the same way as me. I never heard about these traumas until I ventured onto my own path. And yes, this whole entire time, it was guided by the Holy Spirit. That's my truth. And the beautiful part, I don't have to defend this. I don't really have to do anything in particular. God stayed beside me and met me where I was. I felt broken, and He reminded me of my strength. That's one thing I was glad I always had: my faith. I couldn't explain my feelings well, but I know I had to deal with many uncomfortable situations. But knowing that I'm here for a reason always kept me going and driven, and here I am, talking about these uncomfortable things on this podcast. Please stay tuned for more episodes. I really do enjoy talking and sharing, and for everyone out there, I really am one of those unique people that does genuinely love people, and I love hugs, and I always want people to feel loved. And you know what? If that means putting myself on blast and just letting you all know that you are not alone, I'm more than happy to do it. Thank you for listening to It's a Sarah-ness Life podcast. Wishing you all a beautiful day. Sincerely, and signing off, Sarah.